4C4 con. I don't think anybody buys buses anymore. Defeating towards new players with an anti-tier brand. I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't say I never really thought about a brand per se, but also I'd say like, you know, buses are a thing. They're around. People do them. It's not like how would I say it, right? I do think that buses serve a purpose. I think that there are probably a bunch of new players that get gatekept and they're not able to find parties, or there's people who just don't have the time to do their runs and just buy the bus. And for those people, you know, it's whatever, right? It's not great for the economy, so I don't think busing is good. But it's in the game. It's a thing that's there. It's not gonna, you know, just because I don't do it doesn't mean somebody else is not gonna do it. So it's whatever. I don't really like have too strong of an opinion on busing in terms of like what, you know, people should definitely not bus. Buses are like, you know, the worst in the world. Like, I think that there's a place, time and place for it. In fact, in the past, before solo raids, I actually recommended newer players, if they have characters that they just don't run raids on, or feel like they get gatekept too hard on, just buy a bus on like Brel or something. Because at the time when you were doing it, you actually earned money from doing it. I had to bus stamina to get the last 2 clears indeed for Light Queller because I got tired of getting gatekept because no title. That, like, again, I don't... How do I say this, right? It's like, I don't think that players buying buses and feeling like they need to buy buses is a problem of the players. The players are simply there to fill a desire or a need that other people's have. Like they're providing a service that other people want and desire, right? It's more of why has the game made it so that there is that desire in the first place? Just kind of like what Smokey said, right? He got tired of getting gatekept. So he bought those buses not because he felt like, you know, the bussers themselves were stealing his money, but rather the people gatekeeping him are forcing him to buy the bus. Even if there are no buses, gatekeeping is still going to exist, right? So that's what I think. Again, I think that's bad for the economy. I wouldn't say like, you know, buses are great, but I do think that there is a use for them, a reason for them to exist, and there is a positive impact that they can have. It's not all negative, is what I'm saying. Now I have no problem getting into Thamine. And like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what other people say about busing, like what other streamers, what are content creators, or what are other people say about busing, but that's what I think, right? It's just, it's a service that people want. If people didn't want it, they wouldn't buy it. And it's less of the problem of the bussers and more of the problem of the game for making people desire buses like that. Now, there could be a situation where the game is perfect and people just buy buses because they're lazy or like they don't have time, and that's another thing. But I don't think that's the only reason why people buy buses. Thoughts on China and busing? I mean, if they don't want busing there, then they, you know, banned it, and that's the right thing to do. Stories are very helpful to learn the boss. Funny story, and people who are regulars will know this, but until about maybe like a month ago when they released solo raids, I actually had no clue how to do the throws, like the in Yetu Voldus, like throwing the little shackles. I had no clue what the timings were for that. I never learned it, and people just always did it for me. And then when I went in there and did that shit, I ended up learning the shackle timings because if I did it, I just kept jailing myself. So yeah, it does help learn. It does help people learn the mechanics, which is a good thing.